Okay, started. Thank you very much for reminding me. All right, okay. So today we're going to do something on the world beyond words, all right? Or in simpler terms, will be non-verbal communication, okay? So non-verbal communication, all right, all aspects of communication in our life, all right, are comprising of things other than words, all right? Meaning that 65 to 95% of the total meaning of communication, all right? It's not like 100% we are delivering verbal communication. It's not like 100% we are delivering non-verbal communication, but most of the time, all right, researchers have shown that most of it, all right, mostly will only involve non-verbal communication, right? Because sometimes we are too lazy to say things, or we are too annoyed to say things, or we think that some things can just be best presented or delivered by not using words, because maybe if you use word, it will sound very harsh or awkward or something. So by using non-verbal communication, making facial expression, hand gestures, eye contact, all right, it can already show that you are actually delivering the message. And as long as the receiver of the message understand what is it that you are trying to deliver. All right. So of course, in non-verbal communication, we have features like gestures, hand gestures, body language. All right. The way you utter words. All right. It doesn't mean that when you convey non-verbal communication, all right, it doesn't mean that if you utter words, there's no non-verbal gesture over there. Right. The way you utter it, the tone that you are using, all right, the choice of words are also considered as non-verbal communication. All right. Everything that you have planned before it is delivered, okay, is considered as non-verbal communication. And of course, the way you appear, your appearance, all right. If people invite you to come to their wedding and you come with a sloppy face, you're not wearing beautiful clothes, you are just wearing, let's say, the clothes that you wear when you went to bed last night, for example. All right. So people will tend to think that you are not excited for the event, or you as if that you feel that you are uninvited to the event. And of course your facial expression, all right, whether you are very anxious, very sad, very mad, very happy, full of excitement. Okay, right. So these are some of the similarities between verbal and non-verbal. All right. So again, I would like to express to you that all of these are actually something that you have done in your daily life. Right. This is just we are just assigning names to them. We are just assigning names to the features of non-verbal and also verbal communication before this. All right. So similarities between verbal and non-verbal. Non-verbal communication is very symbolic, right? Symbolic, arbitrary, ambiguous, and also abstract, right? Because it is based on random choice, or it can also be on your own personal choice, right? So it is not like a rigid or restricted to any certain part of meaning, right? Maybe if when people ask you question, all right, when you keep on silence, all right, you do not reply the question, maybe you are thinking, all right, or maybe on the other hand you are actually mad or you are not happy, that's why you are not responding. All right, non-verbal communication is rule guided, all right, of course, right? You cannot like use every single thing, all right. You cannot just convey every single thing without following the ethical guidance, all right, without following the cultural value that you need to what you call that you need to preserve and also express. All right. Non-verbal communication may be intentional or it can also be unintentional. Just like the example that I've said just now, when people ask you questions, suddenly you are taking too much time or you keep on silencing yourself. Maybe you are thinking of the answers, trying to figure out what to respond, or maybe you are just annoyed or unhappy or do not want to respond because of certain situation causing you to be mad at the person. It depends. All right. And non-verbal communication, it reflects culture. All right. So in certain parts of the globe of the world, all right, maybe for example for the Eskimos, all right, they're gonna when they meet together, they're gonna slide their nose to each other, all right, indicating that they are greeting each other. For example, all right, if you're from if you are native of New Zealand, Maori, all right, they're gonna rub their nose and also uh, they're gonna rub their nose and also their forehead together, indicating that they are connecting. They are culturally connecting. As for us, we will just shake hands. And as for Muslim, all right, shaking hands between male and female is prohibited if you are not mahram, for example. So this kind of non-verbal communication reflects the culture that we have been brought up to and also we are living in. Okay. Right, and also some differences between verbal and non-verbal. All right, non-verbal communication tends to be perceived as more believable. All right, so why is it perceived as being more believable? All right, because sometimes, all right, when you say something, all right, actually your non-verbal gesture indicate the other thing. All right, when let's say your boyfriend asks you where you want to go to eat, where you want to go to have lunch, and then you can just say up to you, I don't mind, but with a very sloppy face, with a very annoying face and something like that. So it is interpreted that you are not happy, that you have your own choice, that you wanted to be given the chance to express or voice out your choice rather than just being asked where you want to eat and then just leaving it to your partner to decide for you. All right. And then non-verbal communication is multi-channel. All right. Meaning that it may be seen, all right, it may be felt, heard, smell, and also tasted. Okay, multi-channel here indicates that the form of non-verbal communication can be delivered not just by hand gesture, not just by facial expression. It can also be delivered based on the features that I mentioned just now: your appearance, your voice tone, the choice of words, how you utter them, all right, and also the face that you are making, do your eye contact, all right, whether you are showing eye contact or not, all right, those indicates how you are feeling and also indicates the way you want to be treated, all right, by your partner or by the one that you are communicating with, all right. And then non-verbal communication is continuous, all right, because verbal communication, okay, verbal communication when you talk, all right, it starts and stop, right, whereas non-verbal you will continue to posture. For example, after you have talked, you will still try to adjust your facial expression. Right after the word has been uttered, are you happy? Yeah, kind of. I feel kind of happy right now. But then you are still trying to figure out, all right, the expression that you are doing. And because it is just your expression, sometimes you unintentionally deliver that kind of expression. All right, it happens unintentionally. All right, it is not because of the choice of words, but more because of the state of emotion that you are experiencing at the moment. So verbal communication, when you utter words, it starts and then it stops. All right, but then non-verbal, it can be continuous, right, because of the gestures, expression, and tone that you are delivering. All right. Okay, not mine. Right, so these are some of the principles of non-verbal communication. All right, non-verbal communication may supplement or replace, all right, verbal communication. Right, because non-verbal communication, you may repeat verbal messages. For example, you might say yes while nodding your head. So because both of them, non-verbal and verbal communication, also occur at the same time. All right. So when you say yes, you will most of the time you will nod your head. Yes, I like it very much. You will not just say yes, I like it very much. All right. People might misinterpret you as not being happy or not liking that situation. All right. Secondly, non-verbal behavior may highlight verbal communication. All right. For example, you can emphasize particular words by increasing your volume. All right. For this particular point, this is very important. We'll come up into your exam. Then you're going to stress out that particular point. All right. This one is not that important, so we're just gonna skip through the whole thing. All right. When you are communicating, all right, when you are asking your partner, all right, where do you want to go to have lunch? Would you like KFC? Would you like Pizza Hut? Would you like Domino's? Would you like McDonald's? All right. So you will tend to increase your volume, all right, because you want to highlight that particular verbal communication. All right. Thirdly, we use non-verbal behavior to complement or add to words. All right, almost the same with the second one just now. Right. So when you see a friend, for example, you might say, I'm glad to see you, and underline the verbal message with a warm embrace. All right. Meaning that you are not going to say, I'm glad to see you. All right. That doesn't seem to be happy enough, or that indicates more of an unhappiness more than happiness. So when you say something which is very cheerful, all right, your expression, your tone of voice, all right, your gestures will also follow you. It complement each other's, right, with the verbal and also the words that you have chosen. Right. Next one, non-verbal behavior may contradict verbal messages. Right. For example, right, when someone says nothing's wrong, right, in hostile tone of voice. Are you okay? Nothing's wrong, I'm okay. Something like that. All right. So it doesn't show, all right, that you are actually in a very good or okay kind of situation. Right. Because the tone of voice they are using doesn't complement the words that you have chosen. And finally, we sometimes substitute non-verbal behavior for verbal one. All right. For example, you might point to the left, all right, when asked to give direction. All right. When people ask you to give direction, all right, you might substitute, all right, the words or the verbal communication that you might utter by just pointing, all right, by just pointing to the direction. All right. So I'm not going to say that it save more on time, but it's actually something that you decide to do because you think that showing gestures is more than enough to reply to the message. But sometimes, okay, people prefer you to reply them back in a verbal kind of situation, in verbal kind of manner. Right? For example, when they ask you, where is the direction to the nearest ATM? All right, it's over there on my left. All right, you should go to that door. All right, and then try to go to the left side of the door. Right, so it is located over there. So people, it is much more preferable for you to use verbal and also non-verbal gestures simultaneously, right? Because it will indicate much of a polite way of communicating, all right? And then number two, non-verbal communication may regulate interaction. Okay, for example, when talking to friends, all right, friends typically don't say when you talk and you talk and you talk, okay, I'm done, your turn to talk. All right, or you hold up sign saying, I have finished speaking, it's your turn to speak. All right, so when we indicate non-verbal communication, it regulates the way you communicate. It gives you, how you say this, instruction on how you maneuver, macam mana kita nak the conversation that we are having, macam mana kita nak maneuver it, alright, towards turn taking and also towards giving other people also ample chances to express, alright, their thoughts as well, alright. And then turn taking in conversation usually is regulated non-verbally. For example, we signal that we don't want to be interrupted with our eyes or by maintaining a speaking volume and rate that discourage interruption. So when I'm talking in a very high tone, for example, or it seems serious, right? It signals that I'm not gonna stop right now. Please wait for your turn to speak, all right? But when we are through talking, all right, when we have done talking, we look at others to signal. Now somebody else can speak, all right? Maybe you just stop talking and then try to get what you call that? Try to get your eyesight, all right, to the person that you want them to continue, right, the conversation. Right, so it happens automatically, all right, but it is regulated mostly by your non-verbal communication. All right, you are talking. My name is Ali. Okay, your turn to talk. All right, okay, I'm Adnan. What about you? You are not going to do that, of course, in your normal daily conversation. All right, non-verbal communication often establishes relationship level meanings. All right, whereby by using non-verbal communication, all right, there will be responsiveness. All right, you want to have response, all right, between you and also your partner or the one that you are talking with, all right, and you want to be liked, all right, you want to be liked, you want to be preferred, right? It's a matter of preference, all right, when you are talking to the person that you are interacting with, all right. Right, non-verbal gestures can also indicate whether you are being liked or not liked or not preferable by that particular person, and of course, you want to what you call it, express power in that particular conversation. Of course, when you have much more gesture, when you have much more control over the conversation, your tone of voice, your choice of words, right? So people will think of you as gripping more control in that particular situation. You are, I'm not going to say you are being dominant, all right, but you are contributing more than enough in that particular conversation. All right, whereas we can see that those who are very introvert, all right, we are not going to hear much from him or her when they are speaking, of course, right? Sometimes they're going to stay silent, all right? But there is also a form of non-verbal communication indicating that they are not interested to participate or they are too afraid to participate. All right, and then the principle number 4, non-verbal communication, it reflects and expresses cultural values. Just what I've mentioned with the example of Eskimo and also the Maori culture and how we shake hands, how Muslim doesn't shake hands, between male and female if they are not mahram, meaning that they are not related, right? Meaning that they are not related, not siblings or not husband and wife or not kids or something like that, all right? So these are cultural bound that you need to follow, All right, I think there's a culture where when you are, sometimes there's a culture where it's very normal for you to hug, all right, the other gender, for example, and also give them just a friendly kiss on the cheek, right? Because it indicates you are being very close, or not in terms of intimacy, not being close because they are your lovers, but it's more of being close because you are close friends or close colleague or something like that. All right, the closeness of your friendship is indicated by that action, right, in certain culture. Okay. Right, there are a few types of non-verbal communication. All right, number one is what we call kinesis. All right, kinesis, your body position and also body motions. All right, for example, in a meeting, the way you sit, all right, will indicate how much are you interested in listening to the meeting or the talk. All right, if you are more of your what you call that, your eye contact is looking elsewhere, for example, not paying attention. If you fell asleep in a meeting or in a talk session, for example, in the class, for example, all right, it indicates that your non-verbal gesture over there indicates that you are not interested to listen. All right, and then we have haptics. All right, the use of touch. Okay, the use of touch. People with high status, all right, normally sometimes, all right, maybe not much practice in our culture, but if it is from the same gender, right? People with high status commonly they touch others and invade other space more. Right? For example, when you go to work later on, right? Your supervisors or your managers or your bosses will always use a lot of touching gestures. For example, a good job. All right. How are you feeling today? For example, they touch your shoulder and ask you how are you feeling today? How's your family? All right. If you're not feeling well, you can go back, take MC for the day, for example. All right. But that is commonly used by those with higher, we call it high status. All right. For example, in family, sometimes, all right, if you think that you are very close to your family, that you tend to always touch your mom and dad, usually your mom and dad will be the one who will practice more touches towards you because they have the highest ranking in the family. All right. They have more power towards you, which is their own children. But sometimes, all right, I'm not going to say that power is equally distributed, but when you are too close, all right, you will have the tendency to touch them a lot as well to indicate warmness or to show love towards them. Okay, all right, and then physical appearance. All right, for example, in certain cultures, thinness in women is not prized or encouraged in all culture and social communities. All right, so in, for example, in traditional African society, a full-figured body are perceived as symbolizing health, prosperity, and wealth. Right, meaning that when in some part of Africa, when they are choosing their future wife, they will choose for a wife which looks very healthy, right? A bit plump, for example, indicating that they have eaten quite a lot because they are very wealthy. All right, they prosper in life. All right, they don't have issue with food at all. All right, so this is a good lady to be married with, for example. All right, so not every culture they encourage that. Some culture they think that being thin, fair skin is very beautiful. Some culture thinks that darker skin will be much more beautiful. That's why maybe the Westerners like to come to Malaysia and tan themselves, right? Because for them, being a bit dark will indicate that they are having this kind of exotic skin tone, which differentiate them from the normal Westerners. Okay. And then artifacts. All right, artifact is very interesting because it actually indicate the personal objects that signal our identity. All right. For example, in our room, all right, let's say if you are an art lover, all right, you will have your house decorated with painting and also sculptures. All right. So when you go into your house, right, when you go into Shahira Shamimi's house, there's a lot of painting. There's Da Vinci, Mona Lisa, for example, all right, and Michelangelo, for example. So this is a very high-end art collection. You must be a very what you call it, hardcore lovers of arts, for example. And then sometimes, all right, religious family they express their commitment by displaying, let's say, pictures of holy scene, all right, like the Last Supper, for example, all right, from the Bible, or maybe displaying a lot of verses from the Al-Quran, for example, or displaying pictures of gods and goddess, for example, all right, to indicate their commitment all right, towards religion, all right. But sometimes it's very normal to have like verses from the holy book in your house, right? But sometimes, let's say we can see it in a movie, because in Hollywood movies, all right, they are very distinguished between within their commitment towards the religion, right? Because they are very open. Sometimes they're going to say that I'm not a man who goes to church, for example, indicating that I'm not that very religious, right? So there's not much of crosses in my house, for instance, okay? All right, but in our Eastern culture, it is very normal to have symbols of religion in houses to indicate how committed we are to our religion, all right? And then the most common artifact that we can see is some of you might still have your, what you call that, I'm sure what's the term in English, all right, your bantal busuk lah, for example, all right, the pillow that you have been using for generations, all right, just to indicate that you are a very clingy person, right, or you are very you are too attached to something, right? That's why you are keep on attaching yourself to that particular thing, right? For example, for me, if let's say I'm a fan of rugby, for example, I'm going to have a lot of merchandises, jerseys, all right, what are mufflers, caps, and everything based on rugby identity. All right, so that these particular artifacts can tell a person of can indicate that you are this kind of person. You are a sports fanatic, art fanatics, all right. You are a very religious man, for example. Okay, and then environmental factor, all right, elements of the setting that affect how we feel, all right. For example, okay, the setting of a fast food restaurant, right, the environment of a fast food restaurant where you come in, all right, you order nowadays in McD, you order it on the big screen over there, you pay it there using your debit card and something, get the number, and then when your name is called, you just go and pick your food and get out of the station, or get out of that restaurant, get out of McD, right? So the environment of the restaurant itself encourages customers to eat quickly, to buy their food quickly and then move on, get out, all right. Okay, you are right now behind time, all right, get your food fast, order fast, pay fast, get it fast from the counter, and then get out, finish it very fast and then get out. All right, so the environment over there indicates that it's a restaurant that encourages you to keep on the fast track. Whereas if you go into a more expensive, for example, fine dining restaurants, right, they give this kind of environment where it encourages you to stay longer, all right, stay longer, try their expensive food, all right. If sometimes try the liquor, for example, all right, and then desserts, all right, and beverages, which are actually very expensive, all right. But then the environment with the calm music, all right, and the waiter coming and taking your order very politely, recommending you things, they encourages you to stay a lot longer and also to spend more, right, on that particular restaurant. Okay, all right. And then we have proxemics and also personal space, indicating how we use space, right, in our daily interaction. All right. Actually, proxemic is a technical term for space and how we use it. All right. For example, if you are angry, you will tend to avoid, all right, or move away from that particular person or that particular situation. But if you are expressing that you are liking something, preferring that person, for example, you will tend to get closer. So the proxemic over here is that if you feel uncomfortable, unhappy, and things like that, distance will be kept, all right. But then if you feel very comfortable, you prefer the person or you prefer that particular conversation, you enjoy the conversation very much, right, you tend to be closer. This is the physical space. I'm talking about the physical space, how close and how far you are when you are communicating, all right. And then we have chronomics, all right, indicating how we use time. Okay, all right. In the Western culture, for example, I think it's in our culture as well, all right. Usually they're gonna have important people, high value people, high status people, maybe like CEOs or managers or bosses, all right, or the owners of the company themselves, all right. When they have a high status in the company or in that particular environment, all right, they can keep others waiting for them, all right. So usually low stats people or people with lower ranking are expected to be punctual and wait for high status people to come in, all right. a classic case of our class lecture, for example. All right, you will stand by to enter my Google Meet link. All right, and for example, you're gonna stand by like at we have a class at 1, right? 12:50 or 12:55, you have already clicked on your Google Meet link. All right, but you will have to wait for me to come in, all right, and approve you to enter the Google Meet link because uh, I over here I am the one with the a bit high ranking from who you are because I'm the lecturer and you are the student, so you have to wait for high ranking person to come and approve you, for example. All right, like in a family, all right, we do not start eating if let's say our father or our mother didn't appear on the dining table, or brothers, for example, right? But if let's say we are the kids are not here yet, some family they will wait. But sometimes adik mana? Adik kat atas lagi. Makanlah dulu, nanti mama panggil adik, for example. Alright, so the lower ranking, alright, we do not wait for the lower ranking to appear. Alright, so same goes with the Eastern culture as well for me. Because sometimes when I attended meetings, alright, usually you're gonna go into the meeting, big events, for example, what you call that? Ceremonial kind of events, convocation, we're gonna wait for the sultans or for the royalties to come in, all right, to come in to join us, all right, because we were there already earlier, like half an hour, for example, but they are granted to come a bit late because of their high status, all right. Okay, and then of course, the para language, all right, para language, which means that the sound or vocal qualities, all right, and then the pitch and also the volume of the pitch, all right. Sometimes when you are expressing it too much, you want to indicate that this particular point is very important, all right. When you are using a very high tone, sometimes to indicate that you are unhappy, all right, that you are irritated, you are very mad at that particular person, all right. And of course, the next one will be silence, all right. And silence can be interpreted into many things, all right. Just like what I've mentioned before, maybe you are confused, maybe you don't know what to say, all right. Maybe you are unhappy, maybe you are annoyed, all right. So silence is a bit dangerous, right? Because when you do not say anything, sometimes people cannot read. All right, people cannot read your facial expression and also gestures as well. So it can be misinterpreted into many kind of interpretations. Okay. Right, social media and non-verbal communication, of course. All right, in social media, non-verbal communication is more restricted sometimes. Okay, because you will only have words. All right, you will be communicating only words. But nowadays, we already in the digital context, we already have Google Meet, video calls. All right, WhatsApp video calls and things like that. All right, so it has already given right full extension towards practicing non-verbal communication as well. All right, but then most of the times, if you are only being online on Facebook or Twitter or posting pictures, right, it will be more restricted because people cannot interpret you because they cannot see you. Right, of course, facial gestures, facial expression, body gestures will not be appearing into your Facebook posting, right? And then the size of your electronic footprint, right? Electronic footprint here indicates that how much you post and comment on social media, right? If you posted every single thing, right, which indicates sadness, right, which indicates what you call that, you are being annoyed to something, or indicates that you are in a very rough situation, all right, it will influence emotion of yourself and also other people. Maybe when people see that you will post always post sad emoticons, or you just post like for example, what you call that, the yellow guy with tears coming from the eyes, all right, you know that, oh, you are in a rough, people would tend to think that you are in a rough situation or you are experiencing a very bad situation right now, all right. Okay, and then you can compete with or interfere with face-to-face communication, all right. So we can see that with the development of technologies nowadays, Google Meet, Zoom, what else, WebEx and things like that, social media and also the digital contacts are now competing, right, and also interfering with face-to-face communication. Nowadays, we don't have to go to classes anymore. We don't have to attend physical meeting anymore. We don't have to travel from Kelantan to KL just for a single meeting, just for a half an hour or 1 hour meeting. It can all be done, all right, from the comfort of your home or from the comfort of the place that you are staying right now. Okay. Right, so guidelines for improving non-verbal communication. Of course, monitor your non-verbal communication as well as much as you monitor your verbal communication, because both matters. Right, although you might think that sometimes non-verbal is much more expressive, it is much more shown than when you utter words, but still you need to monitor them, because like I said just now, something that you said doesn't really imply on your non-verbal gestures. Right? Doesn't mean that you say I'm happy. Right? It will be indicated by your facial expression. I'm happy. Okay. And then interpret others' non-verbal communication tentatively. Right? So please use your personal qualification. Interpret it based on your personal what you call that, your personal opinion, but do not misinterpret people. Okay, of course, try to understand the situation, try to understand the context. Is there any noise happening? For example, noise can be like the physical noise or the internal noise, psychological noise, physiological noise. Are they not in a good mood? Are they in pain or something? Are they in a sad situation or something? All right. And then again, provide or use contextual qualification as well, meaning that understand them, all right, understand their situation, right? Know that they sometimes people are not going to be 24 hours 7 24/7 being happy, right? There are some times they gonna experience sorrowness or disappointment, all right? So try to limit your misinterpretation and try to, in a much more clearer words, all right, put yourself into their shoe or put yourself into their situation. Okay. Right, done with today. Any question on non-verbal communication? I think this is a very simple topic. Question? Right, if you don't have any question, I have a question that I would like to ask. Let me choose. How many percent should I choose? All right, let's look at T1. Oh, let's look at B, C, E. Okay, I'm gonna have Sophia second cohort. Shahriza second cohort. All right. Can I have Maisara? I do that, Maisara. Maisara. Ayo, Maisara. All right. What about Madura? Are you there, Madura? Madura.
Hi, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Madura is there. Okay. Can I have Madura and then Anain? Anain? All right, Madura, Jaslina, you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, okay. Madura, Jas, Azman Naufal.
Yes, sir.
All right, and Afifi. Afifi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the four of you, we would like you to share your artifacts to the class. All right, what is the artifact that you think best represent you, which signal your identities? All right, who wants to start first? Who wants to start first? Come on. Madura, Jaslina, Zubanofa, and Afifi.
So sorry, but can you explain what is artifacts again?
All right, okay. Just like what I've explained just now, artifact is something that symbolize your personal identity. For example, if you're very avid, you love arts very much, or you're gonna have a lot of drawings, for example, you will have a lot of sculpture in your house. If you love sports very much, for example, if you play hockey, right, you're gonna have hockey jerseys, hockey merchandise, right? If you are a very devoted religious kind of guy, kind of lady, for example, you're gonna have let's say your own kind of holy book, for example, or you're gonna carry some kind of religious object with you all the time, for example. All right, so this is artifacts. All right, these are
So,
some. Yes.
so you want me to show the thing or what?
If possible, if you have it with you, you can always turn your camera and share it with all of us, the four of you. Okay, can you do it? Madura?
Yes, sir.
Would you do it?
1 minute, sir. I take the thing.
All right, okay.
Maybe I can start first, sir.
All right, Azman, please. What is your
Um,
artifact?
for me, for now,
now.
I like sneakers.
Sorry?
I like sneakers.
Sneakers.
Sure.
Okay.
Actually, I don't have that specific artifacts because I like everything. I like it maybe seasonal lah. Maybe for now I like sneakers. But I like sports too. So I collect jerseys, a lot of jerseys, football jerseys.
Okay.
But for now I collect sneakers. So
Yes. All right.
you can see.
Right, there's a
in my
dunk over
bag,
there. Is that a dunk?
Jordan 1.
Okay.
I like Air Jordan 1. Dan that price is so expensive for dunk.
All right. Okay.
So I like sneakers.
All right. Okay. I don't have much. I mean, I do love sneakers as well, but I don't have much collection as what you are having right now. All right. But during my time, all right. I mean, I think it's not during my time only. It's a very, what you call that, evergreen kind of sneakers. All right. So I do have Stan Smith. All right. I got Superstar. All right. And
So I have one too.
yes.
Terus
Unfortunately, I got the Cortez, the one green. There was a white Cortez with a green swoosh. That one was stolen at the mosque during my birthday. All right. Good sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Okay. Next one.
I want
Rifi.
to. Okay.
All right. Show it to us.
You can see this.
No, it's not appearing.
All right.
Right. Okay.
I don't know you guys trust me or not, but actually I'm a badminton player actually.
Wow. All right. Okay.
Okay, it's my bag. Okay.
So
if you guys ask me what we call that, the type of racket I love, I really love leaning actually.
leaning.
Yep.
All right.
So all of the thing I put in this bag, my badminton every day. If I have time, I will play with my friend.
Okay.
So, yep, I think that's all from me.
Okay. So
Yes.
leaning is quite recent, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it appears like in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, leaning, right? Because during my time, they have Carlton. You know Carlton? But I don't see
Okay,
much,
got it.
I don't see much Carlton bats or
More to tennis, I think.
for tennis. But then they have for badminton as well. Carlton, Dunlop for badminton. But now they are concentrating more on tennis. Carlton, Dunlop, and
I also have Yonex actually, but I do love more leaning.
yes. All right. Okay. Very good. Thank you very much, Afifi. All right. Okay. Madura and Jasina, who would like to start first?
So I like to tell mine, sir.
All right, please, Madura.
I want to go first.
Sorry.
Jaslina, go ahead.
All right, Jaslina going first. Okay, please, Jaslina.
Madura. So for me, I personally love Harry Potter so
Yeah.
much.
All right. Okay, J.K. Rowling.
Yes.
So any
I
Harry Potter
have a full
collection?
set.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have a full set of the Harry Potter novel from 1 to 7, both in Malay and English novel. And I also have many T-shirts of Harry Potter and
Hmm.
more than 20 miniature of Harry Potter. I really wanted to show that really bad, but I didn't bring it because I'm in London.
So you got a lot of merchandise of Harry Potter as well, right? Yes?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, from a perspective of a hardcore Harry Potter fan, do you like the movie more or do you prefer the novels more?
I love the novel more because it tells every single detail, but not in the movie.
I
They
see.
skip a lot.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, thank you, Jaslina. Very interesting. All right, last but not least, Madura.
So my artifacts is I really like to draw, which is called as Mandela. So you know that what is Mandela, right?
Sorry again. What was it called?
Mandela art.
Mandela Arts.
Yes, sir.
How to spell Mandela? Let me Google.
Mandala.
Oh, Mandela like Nelson Mandela.
No, sir.
Not Nelson.
Oh yeah. Right.
Mandala art, is it? Ah, I
Uh,
see. All right, let me show it to the rest of the class. Oh, you got something to show?
yes, sir.
Okay,
I
yes,
few of
please.
my drawings.
Okay. Can you show us your drawing?
Yeah, sure, sir.
See guys? All right, that is a mandala art. All right. Okay, very nice.
It's so pretty.
Is your own drawing?
Sir? What?
Is it your own drawing, Madura?
Yes, sir.
Wow, very nice. Wow.
I just managed to find some of this while you were talking to Nopal. I just the
Ah,
few of it I don't know where I kept, so this is it, sir.
this is very marketable, you know. I think you can sell them. Is it
I
the same?
got yes,
Uh-huh.
sir.
Sorry. Sorry,
I got
Madura.
inspired this from drawing tattoos. I really like tattoos, but I couldn't get the tattoo, so I started to draw, and then the Mandela just show up. Like, I really wanna.
Okay. Is it the same as henna drawing? Because it's kind of represents some of the henna art that I've been seeing before.
Yes, the henna is like different. This one is like circle, and then the patterns are like more to like peacock or whatever. Then my mandala is like Zentangle, more to Zentangle.
All right. Okay. Very
Which
nice. Thank you for sharing,
thank you,
Madura.
sir.
Very beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So anyone would like to purchase Madela art can always contact Madura. Okay, please. All right. Show some support to our friend. Yes, Rachel. You want to buy, Rachel?
Sure, sir. But sir, I have a question.
Okay, please.
So how to balance non-verbal communication with verbal communication? Because sometimes, right, we tend to overdo one of it, like how do we balance it, sir? So that we will so that the person, our audience, they understand us better.
All right. Okay, this is a very what you call it subjective question. But for me, right, whatever it is that you want to utter must come from here, not just from here. All right, it must come from here. Right, you must take some time when you communicate. Right, it's not like you are rushing, or it's not like I just want to tell this. I just have to express this. This is my time to shine. I have to tell this to people. You just must take some time to consider. All right, whether this particular thing is acceptable, will it hurt other people, right, or will it not hurt our people? But sometimes delaying, right, can cause us the what you call it, the impact that we want to have, of course. But in our culture, especially we're talking about our culture, is Malaysian and Eastern culture. All right, we are more of a collectivist culture, not an individualistic culture, right? Being individualistic meaning that whatever happened, it only centralized towards you. All right, for example, in the Western culture, they will say whatever they want to say. They don't care whether their parents like it or not. They don't care whether the siblings like it or not. They don't care whether the elders like it or not. All right, for example, not in every Western culture, but most of them. But for us, we are more of a collective culture, right? So we prefer not just to comfort ourselves, but we also want to comfort others as well but not to the extent that what it will cause us to feel pain or something. But as long as it is mutually understandable, all right, you will gain some, other people will gain some, all right. Choose the best thing, the best word, what to say, and also choose the best gesture to represent. All right. So the best way for me is for you to align between the things that you are saying and also the expression, the gestures that you are saying. If you are happy, if you want to say that I'm happy, show a happy face. If you want to indicate that you are disappointed, show a disappointed face. If you want to say that you are frustrated, you are very sad, show a sad face. All right. So do not be like the other way around or whatever it is that you are saying. So ladies, all right, when your boyfriend asks you where to eat, just tell them where you want to eat. Okay. Save on time. All right. Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. All right. Any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
All right, most welcome. All right, if there's no more question, I would like to share a bit of exercise that you need, of course. All right, that you need to do in your eCampus. Let me share my screen first. Okay. All right. This is a very simple exercise. Don't worry. All right. So later on, I'm gonna embed the what you call that. The slides is already there. Okay, this is just a video, an interesting video of how a former FBI agent explained on how you read body languages. Right, so you can go through this afterwards. All right, and then there's also an exercise, all right, where you just have to click on this, okay, and then a time quiz, and there's a video over there. All right. Oh, I forgot the question. Sorry, question was over there. All right, so you have to go through the video, okay. All right, this is the question. Based on the video, the exam by Mr. Bean official, name the types of non-verbal communication that occurs between Mr. Bean and the person he is interacting with. All right, so we have the features in the slides now. All right, okay. All right, so name them in the video that you've seen. All right, was Mr. Bean using, sorry, a lot of kinesics, or what about haptics? What about physical appearance? All right. Is there any artifacts with Mr. Bean? What about the environment that he is standing in? What about the space? Does he invade other people's space? All right. What about the time? All right. Maybe some paralanguage that you hear, or maybe just pure silence, nothing happened. All right. So point out, okay, the type of non-verbal communication shown by Mr. Bean. All right. So name the non-verbal communication, and then just explain a bit. All right, do it in point form. All right, for example, if you think that Mr. Bean is invading space, for example, using proxemic. All right, so Mr. Bean keep on sitting close to the person right beside him because he wanted to, to copy the answers, maybe because he didn't study or something like that. All right, so this is a very subjective question based on personal perspective. All right, so when you watch the video, you will just have to write down, all right, the types of non-verbal communication in the column provided. All right, do not do like a very long essay, just point form. Okay, understood? All right, stop sharing. All right, please, Rachel, question?
Sir, is the quiz graded?
No, this is not a graded quiz. Don't worry. This is just for in-class assignment task, in-class task. All right, so we're going to have only individual presentation, then the pair work presentation that you are having, and then one, what you call that, review paper. That those are the assignments that you will do for your 70% of ongoing assessment marks. Another 30% will go to final exam or final assessment. Okay?
Okay,
Right,
so thank you.
not graded, meaning that you don't have to do it. Okay, please do it. All right, to indicate that you understand. All right, the types of verbal communication that we have just discussed in our class. All right, okay. All right, I think that's all for me for today. All right, anything in the question box? All right, okay, nothing much. All right, thank you for the presentation. All right, very good. All right, and then quite surprised with all the talents that we have. All right. Sneakerhead, we got badminton enthusiasts, all right. We got Harry Potter enthusiasts. We got a very fine artwork by Maduro as well. Wow, very surprised with that one. All right, thank you for sharing. If all of you, any of you got any hidden talents, all right, you might just want to share it with us, not just during the live session, but maybe in the WhatsApp group. Just show it to us. Maybe let's say we can help you to advertise or make it marketable or something. Who knows in the future? Okay, who knows? All right. So I guess that's all for me from today. Thank you very much for joining us. All right. Okay. Don't forget to do the task. All right. And then there's no class for next week. Happy holiday. All right. But the group representing, all right, please get yourself prepared and we'll see. All right. Okay. One more thing. All right. Oh, yes, please, Rachel.
Okay, so sir, can we do this task later, like during the evening?
Oh, yes, yes. Up to you. You don't have to do it immediately. All right. Just try to do it within this week. All right. What about by Friday, maybe? Okay.
Okay, so thank you.
All right, by Friday. All right. I'm not gonna set the date to this midnight. Just do it by Friday. All right. Okay. So afterwards, we are gonna have only one group presenting for each tutorial group. T1 only one, T2 only one, because previously we had two groups, right, in the first 4 chapters. All right. So going into the next chapter, all right, we're gonna have only one group for each tutorial group. So I'm thinking of, all right, after this, let's say if I got things to do, or maybe if we have meeting or something like that, we're gonna do like gather everyone and do the presentation in one shot during 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. class. So meaning that sometimes they are not gonna be class in the morning. All right, they are not gonna be tutorial session in the morning, but I'm gonna leave you with exercise to be done on eCampus so that you can log in, all right, at least for half an hour and get your attendance to be recorded as PTG. All right. But sometimes, all right, if I got meeting or something that occurs in the evening, for example, I'm going to do class in the morning at 10 until 12, assuming that maybe for T1, are you going to have anything on 11 until 12, for example?
So far no sir, tapi semalam ada
Ada,
seorang
sorry?
yang kelas. So far
Sorry,
tak apa-apa.
Azman, again?
We can do class at 11, but someone else class. Semalam yang ada seorang tu ada kelas, tak tahu kelas apa.
Alright, some of you might have class at 11. Alright, okay. Alright, okay, don't worry about the morning session. Alright, we're gonna stick to the evening session. Alright, but if let's say we need to do it separately, for example, if let's say I cannot attend lecture because meeting or something, so I'm gonna pre-record the lecture, alright, and leave it to you to watch at 1 p.m. I still gonna do the tutorial for presentation at 10 to 11 and then 11 to 12 for T2. So it depends, but I'm gonna tell you a day before we conduct our class on Monday. Okay, clear? Alright, any questions?
Alright, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright,
Clear, sir.
alright, clear. Alright, thank you very much. Alright, so I guess I see you in 2 weeks time. Alright, so have a very nice holiday. 1 week break is very precious. All right, just get yourself some rest. All right, and get yourself prepared because the second half of the semester will be a bit busy with assignments, all right, tests and everything. All right, so see you again in 2 weeks time. All right, send my regards to your parents and I hope all of you will stay safe. All right, currently we are having like the most cases in Malaysia for Kelantan and also Selangor. I think Sarawak one more, right? Just wherever you are going, enjoying your holiday or something, all right, please take care of your SOPs and also your loved ones, okay? Thank you very much. See you again. Assalamualaikum and have a very nice day, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.